Hello, welcome to this video. My name's Dan, aka Lucen. I'm a singer-songwriter, music producer kind of guy. And today I'm going to be reacting to Mitski's Puberty 2. So let's go. Cool. Okay, love it. Oh my god. Okay, Mitski. If you haven't been following my Mitski journey, I'm sure a lot of you are following my Mitski journey. I can't even remember what order I did these in, but I've reacted to Laurel Hell, Be the Cowboy, Bury Me at Makeout Creek, and The Land is Inhospitable and So Are We. I think that's all the ones I've listened to. And Laurel Hell didn't get me. Be the Cowboy did in a big way. The Land is Inhospitable did in a big way. I really enjoy Bury Me at Makeout Creek as well. But this seems to be the one that like so many people wanted me to react to. So I'm quite excited to get into this. I think I've heard one song. I think it might be the single. I think it's Your Best American Girl is the one I heard, which I remember really liking. It kind of had a bit of a rock edge. If this is your first video with me, then welcome. I like to do my reactions from the perspective of somebody who loves making music. So I really get into the weeds when it comes to the lyrics and the songwriting and the production side of things. So if you like that kind of thing, then make sure to subscribe. Check out all my other Mitski videos. And if you want to support me even further and actually get to watch this video with no edits or anything, you can watch the uncut version over on Patreon. The link is in the description for that and probably the top comment. You can also, every month, there are song requests, album requests and things on Patreon in the upper tiers. So if you want like specific requests from me, then you can head to the upper tiers of Patreon and request those specific reactions from me and I will do them. Cool, it's a cute community over there. Make sure to leave your top 5 in the comments. It's something that everybody gets into on this channel and I really love going through and reading all of your top 5 from the album. So make sure to leave that in the comments. But yes, let's get into this. Song number 1, this is Happy. Well, it doesn't sound very happy at the moment, does it?
Came to visit me the way.
Okay, personification of happy.
Will I
Weird.
have him stay with me?
I'd do anything to have him stay with me. Okay, yeah.
Come inside of me.
Okay, I'm getting casual one night stand vibes.
And when you go, take this.
Enjoying this kind of like ooh. I'm really enjoying the build of this. Cool. That is such a cool sound. It's like a saxophone, but it's like really squashed, isn't it? Okay. So it's left with the kind of aftermath of the ramifications of your decisions, right? I love her use of like modal mixture stuff. It's so good. Like she always like harmonically with the chords and everything really keeps you on your toes, you know? Like that. I think that's like the flat 6, flat 7 root resolution that's used in a lot of like anime music. Nice. Oh, now the drums have like faded away. Oh. And that drum's still there in the middle of it. Oh, that's so like anxiety inducing. So cool. That is like so cool. The idea that like there's this like central like slightly horrific sounding incessant anxiety inducing drum that gets drowned out by the song but it's still under there the whole time is so powerful for me. There's something about that representing like a level of underlying anxiety that gets drowned out by maybe a one night stand or something where you're temporarily kind of fixing the pain but not really solving the solution, because when they leave, that underlying anxiety, that drum is still there. You know, that's the vibe it's giving me. And then it kind of breaks down at the end. It's like a temporary solution. That's what that's giving me. Ah, that's so cool. Yeah. And I felt like I was totally kept on my toes the whole time. I really loved the shape of the song. I loved so many of the sounds of it. I feel like at the beginning, that drum really belies what the song's going to sound like. But when the chords do kind of kick in, it has this kind of almost like slightly manic brightness to it. There's like a chord progression, which basically uses mode mixture and uses like borrows the 6th and the 7th chord from the minor key. It's used in movies, and for me here, she's used it in a way that builds this idea of kind of mania. You know, it really kind of has like this like manic brightness, optimism to it, you know, which is unsettling, but also quite beautiful. Yeah, love it. So good. I love that saxophone as well. Happy came to visit me. He brought cookies on the way. I poured him tea and he told me it'll all be okay. Well, I told him I'd do anything to have him stay with me. So he laid me down. I felt happy come inside me. So I love the double entendre of this lyric. It's so clever because it's like happiness coming inside you, like without context, sounds really innocent and really like you're full of happiness. But I feel like the truth of it, like with the context, is like literal having sex and him coming inside of her. You know, that's the vibe. Yeah, sounds like a one night stand. When you go, take this heart. I make no more use of it when there's no more of you. Oh, okay. So when they're not there, she's nothing. I was in the bathroom. I didn't hear him leave. I locked the door behind him and turned around to see all the cookie wrappers and the empty cups of tea. And I sighed and mumbled at myself, oh, again, I have to clean. If you're going, take the moon. She loves talking about the moon, doesn't she? Then maybe I will see you in the night. I'll see you go. This is so clever. The fact that she's like, I feel like Happy is a person who is maybe like a regular F-buddy, but the sex is so careless that she didn't even know he'd gone. And like, as she left the bathroom, he was gone, you know? And it's like, okay. And like the mess that is left is a metaphor for me of like, not only like physical mess, but also the kind of like that feeling of like, oh, I have to do my chores. I have to go back to the mundane. For this moment, I was happy and had feeling, but now I go back to this dull boredom and not feeling anything at all. And she says that you can take your heart with me because I will have a use for it when you're not here. It's like, these are the bright spots in an otherwise completely grey life. It's like fucking brilliant. Okay, let's go on to my song, because if you don't know, my name is actually Dan. I know I say that at the beginning of every video. I say I'm Dan, okay, listen, lol. Let's go on to my song. This is Dan the Dancer. I think she might have written about me because I am a great dancer. I'm not. Oh, fun. Okay. So this is rock heavy. I love how the guitars and everything are so like upbeat and she's there like in the middle, like, you know, it's really interesting, powerful kind of dichotomy. Okay, this feels like such a kind of emo, kind of rock out, kind of teenage energy, you know? I can't quite hear what she's saying, but as with multiple Mitski songs I've noticed, it feels like she purposely hides her voice when she wants to be a little bit more anonymous within the song. Another song that's glitched out at the end. Yeah, really cool. Love the energy of that one. Really love the comparison between the energy of the song and the lack of energy in her voice. The way in which she like hides her voice in certain songs, it creates such a level of emotion in the way that like, if you're singing out loud and proud, it creates like this feeling of confidence. But when you can't hear somebody's voice over a song, it creates the opposite effect. It's just very, very clever. Because I think that like most people wouldn't be brave enough to drown out their own voice in their own song. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of people would think like, oh no, don't do that. That is against like the purpose of the song. Do you know what I mean? But her purpose of the song is different. Her purpose is really focusing on the emotion that she's trying to portray, you know, rather than just like it being literal, you know. She proper has art brain and you can tell. I was just thinking like back to when I did my Bury Me and Make Out Creek reaction and how I was thinking about the way, like this kind of perpetual teenage thing that she doesn't get over, this idea that she wants to be buried at Makeout Creek, you know, within this like teenage fantasy forever type thing. And how Puberty 2, second puberty within her 20s, like there's real kind of like comparisons there. I remember thinking like, this is what I thought Puberty 2 would be about, you know, and now here we are. I'm kind of going to be interested to kind of see like what happens with the storylines and the metaphors within this album. Dan had very long limbs. I do have quite long limbs. Not that long though. From leaning day to day, hanging onto a cliff that stretched him every day. And when she'd asked to hold his hands, he would smile and let one of his hands go. His whole life in one hand, his whole life. What an interesting image to have somebody hanging off a cliff, but to to be happy to like hold hands with somebody. Do you know what I mean? Like very self-deprecating. And when he'd say goodnight and leave her doorstep, he'd use his last strength to wave back. And once back in his room, he'd return his waving hand back to its cliff. He liked her more than life itself, I'm sure. Wow. Because Dan had never danced outside his room. When no one was home, he would stop to hear the door. So when he moved with you, he felt his body let go. Of course, you couldn't know. It was you and you alone that he had shown his bedroom dancer to. And he would never tell you that it was his first time. So, okay, so for me, it seems to be that like maybe she had sex with this guy down, potentially, and she maybe found out after that he hadn't ever had sex before. And what was not necessarily all that engaging for Mitski, for him would have been like a central point. And there's a real dichotomy there. It might not be about Mitski because obviously it's not from that perspective, but like that's kind of the vibe I'm getting at the end, you know. Really interesting to kind of tell the story about this guy who's like so devoted to this one person, who is like so in love with this one person, despite the fact that he's clearly not very confident, hasn't got a great life going on, spending the whole of his life just hanging on for dear life. Do you know what I mean? Not living, but he lives within these moments with this person, you know. It's like very intriguing kind of perspective to kind of tell the story of the song in and everything. Yeah, really cool. And I think the way that she performs it really spells out that kind of lack of confidence that he clearly has, you know, this idea that he won't dance outside his bedroom. And the song is sung in a way that's like not out and proud, but very inward, you know. That's the galaxy brain thought anyway. Next song, this is Once More to See You. Classic drum kit vibes. This almost sounds like one of those kind of slow dances. She seems to toy into this like prom slow dance thing in different songs throughout all of her discography. If you would let me give you pinky promise kisses. I would scream from the top of every roof in the city of my heart. Love it.
Come inside and be with me alone. Let me give you pinky promise.
It's almost kind of like a kind of begging somebody to be in love with her, maybe.
Once more to see.
Interesting. Yeah, definitely a different vibe. Like we're moving between vibes. As with every Mitski album, each song seems to kind of meander through a different kind of territory, you know? Yeah, I enjoyed that. Kind of felt like kind of suspended, you know, like a kind of suspended reality or something. In the rearview mirror, I saw the setting sun on your neck and I felt the taste of you bubble up inside of me. But with everybody watching us, our every move, we do have reputations. We keep it secret. We won't let them have it. So come inside and be with me, alone with me. So there's like a secret romance going on. I would let you give me pinky promise kisses. That's really cute. Then I wouldn't have to scream your name atop every roof in the city of my heart. If I could see you once more to see you. I feel like she's kind of like so desperately wanting this person, but she wants them to commit to her so that she doesn't have to be so dramatic about it, so that her feelings can mellow out and it be a bit more chill. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm getting. There's that feeling of like when you're kind of in the chase, yearning for somebody, it feels like so dramatic. But then when you actually are with somebody, it's beautiful because you just kind of relax into it and just enjoy it. And I think that's what she wants, but she's not getting, you know? And I think that's probably because it's a relationship that's going to have to be secret. Yeah, I love that. Really great lyrics, that one. Love the imagery of it and like this kind of secret feeling, but like this need to stop screaming out. Do you know what I mean? I have this interesting perspective. Cool. Okay, next song. This is Fireworks. Baby, you're... No, I'm joking. Fun. Love that little intro. Fizzy thing. Fun. This is cool.
Sadness will fossilize. I will forget how to cry.
Interesting. Okay, wow.
Save perhaps a slight gray eye.
Oh. Oh God, every so often you're just chucking a note and it just makes me go,
Pull it out without questioning why. Night, all the fireworks outside.
Beautiful.
Cry.
Wow. I'll listen to the memories as they cry. Wow.
Gentlemen won't say a word. Runs a river that I'll never find.
Wow.
Summer night, I'll hear fire.
I love this movement into this. One day there'll be fireworks outside and I'll listen to the memories as they cry. Beautiful. Cool. Love it. Really cool. Like, I love the energy of that one, like how insistent it is. Like, it feels like, could be like something upbeat and fun and rocky, but then it doesn't go there. It goes to something far more like desperate. That central thing, you know, like, I'll hear the fireworks outside and I'll listen to the memories cry. She's not watching the fireworks. She's not out with everybody outside watching the fireworks go. She's sat inside on her own, you know, and she's not even watching them out the window. She's listening to them. She's realizing that everybody's out there enjoying their life and she is stuck in purgatory, you know. All she can do is just sit within the memories and cry about them, you know. Everybody having a great time is memories of when maybe she used to have a good time and yet now she doesn't. Now she's alone. You know, it's like really like that kind of central conceit of listening to the fireworks and not out there watching them. It's really, really powerful to me and like really gives me such strong imagery of her just sat in her house alone, you know. One morning, this sadness will fossilize and I will forget how to cry. I'll keep going to work. He won't see the change, save perhaps a slight grey in my eye. I will go jogging routinely, calmly and rhythmically run. When I find that a knife sticking out of my side, I pull it out without questioning why. She's like, I'm going to get to the point where I don't even care if there's a knife in my back. Someone's going to betray me. She's so apathetic that she like wouldn't even question why somebody stabbed her in the back. Literally. Metaphorically. And then one warm summer night, I'll hear fireworks outside and I listen to the memories as they cry. Oh, the crying of fireworks as well, like pew! Like there's a cry to the sound of them as well, like, and the shape of them and everything. Like they look like tears falling, some of them look like tears falling from the sky, you know. It's just fucking great. Isn't that so clever? Who thinks of fireworks and thinks sadness is so beautiful and brilliant? Like, she's just working on another level. I love it. Yeah, fabulous. But she's almost like predicting this complete state of apathy. She's like, I'm already feeling pretty apathetic, but at some point it's just going to come to a point where I go beyond any return, where it's fossilized, the sadness is fossilized, and I just become a husk of my previous self, you know. Beautifully dark, like really dark, but so stunningly kind of drawn, you know. The thing about Mitski is that I never know what I'm going to get, and there's always this like hierarchy of different ideas going on within her head that just have such kind of like nuance and intrigue. She's like such a unique artist. Nobody does it in her style. She's also like so, like she has a consistent style, the way she sings. Also how brief and how succinct all of her songs are means keeps up this pace, you know. There's just something about like her specific way of doing it that I just find so intriguing. Loved that song. That's my favorite so far. Really cool. Okay, next song. This is Your Best American Girl, which I have heard before. If you want to check out my first ever reaction to it, I think it's on the channel. It was a Patreon request. If you want to see my first reaction to it, then the link is there or there. I can't remember which side it is. Okay, let's go. I always love hearing these ones again in the context of the album because it always kind of changes the meaning, you know, especially with artists like Mitski.
Lingers forevermore. You have so much to do, and you're the sun. You've never seen the night, but I'm not the moon.
I love the slow build of this song. It's so cool. She kind of holds your attention. She's like this, like, and then kind of like goes bam. There we go. This is the bit I remember. Yeah, this is such a good song. This one kind of makes it feel a little bit more central, as in terms of like a little bit more like mainstreamly accessible.
You're all I ever wanted,
So cool. Yeah, it's so powerful, this one. Like, this idea of like finally figuring something out, you know. Trying to be a best American girl, you know. That idea that she's kind of stuck in between, you know. Oh, that's such a good song. It's just so well written. The build of it is so brilliantly done. Like, I love the kind of fake out where like it goes quiet again, but then it really quickly goes back into the really like full force section. There's just like a kind of like letting out of frustration in that song that I find really palpable and really like nicely done. And also it kind of feels a little bit more tangible for kind of mainstream listens. You know, I guess it has a bit more of like a structure and a melody and stuff that's maybe a little bit more like kind of typical. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about My Love, Mine or Mine in the latest album. The way that almost sounded like a classic ballad, you know, and like a real kind of like Fred Astaire era kind of love song, you know, whereas the rest of the album definitely has like more kind of uniqueness to it. And I guess that's how that song was really, really popped off. Also, I'm so happy that song was popped off in such a way. I saw the Spotify charts on Instagram the other day, and it was like My Love, Mine or Mine is still the 5th most streamed song in the world. I'm like, that's insane. That's like insane levels of success for Mitski. And it's beautiful to see somebody who's like, what, like 8 albums in? No, 6 albums in? That late into their artistry, doing their own thing, just plodding along, happily doing their own thing, just get such a huge hit. It's like, it's amazing. And yeah. Also, my Mitski reaction got featured on a YouTube advert recently. I'm making it, guys. I'm making it big time. If I could, I'd be your little spoon and kiss your fingers forevermore. But big spoon, you have so much to do and I have nothing ahead of me. So that's the thing, like this person that she's with, it seems to be a bit more of an involved relationship, but she's still only living for this person and not for herself. Maybe she is Dan in that other song. I'm just thinking she has nothing else to live for apart from like when this person's not here, when they go off to work, she has nothing to do. You know, she's completely lost. It's giving me that like in your 20s, haven't gone on a typical career path in that moment of feeling like you have no direction. Like that's what happened for me after I left uni. Like I did maths at uni and I passed it. But afterwards, like I went to a job, hated it, absolutely hated it. And like after I left that job, it was just like I had no direction. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. I'm really relating to that feeling of that. It feels like she's in that space right now, you know? And I was getting that energy from Bury Me at Makeout Creek as well. And I suppose it's before her art has really, really taken off, you know, and that becomes her purpose. It's like, yeah, your mother wouldn't approve of how my mother raised me, but I do. I think I do. You're an all-American boy. I guess I couldn't help trying to be your best American girl. So there's this thing of having this relationship with a guy who's clearly like probably quite affluent, white, has grown up in this kind of like middle America kind of like situation, all-American boy, which is code for white, which doesn't make any sense because America's always been multicultural. Anyway, that's the whole point. Anyway, so and her having to try and live up to that expectation of her, you know, whereas I think she's realizing that she can't ever actually be that because of the nature of her race, you know. Is she mixed race American? Okay, so yes, so she is mixed race, Japanese, Caucasian. A story that I hear a lot from different songs, movies and things is that like there's a feeling of not belonging to one or the other, you know, of not belonging to the kind of white American ideal culture, but not truly belonging to Japanese culture either. And so I'm really in this song, I get this feeling of being stuck, you know, and that trouble kind of bubbling up within her because of this relationship that she has with somebody who is clearly white, whose mother is clearly judgmental of Mitski's mother raising her in a Japanese way. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, fuck. It's so like, it's brilliant. This song is actually brilliant. You're the one, you're all I've ever wanted. I think I'll regret this. Your mother wouldn't approve of how my mother raised me, but I do. I finally do. And you're my all-American boy. I guess I couldn't help trying to be your best American girl. Your mother wouldn't approve of how my mother raised me, but I do. I think I do. So there's a sense of like her trying to be proud of how her mother raised her slightly differently, but coming up against it because of the judgment of others. You know, she does say, I finally do respect how my mother raised me. But then at the end again, she says, I think I do. You know, it's like she's playing between those two different places. And it's like, yeah, it's just so brilliant, this song. It's just like so many levels. Oh, it's just so good. Anyway, I've been going on about this song for ages. Let's go to the next one. This is I Bet on Losing Dogs.
My baby, tell your baby that I'm your baby dog.
I love the smoothness of this. The idea that she's accepting that like she has these kind of like tendencies to place bad bets, you know, there's like a kind of like relinquishing of control, isn't there? Whoa. Those vocal harmonies, there's some clashy stuff going on. Wow. Wow. Love it. I love the fullness of this arrangement, like. Blame it on the losing dogs. Yeah, there's an idea of somebody like kind of saying, oh, it's not my fault, it's the dog's fault, you know? Ooh, cool. Yeah, I really love the full production on that one. I don't remember ever hearing backing vocals, quite a kind of chorus vocals in that way with Mitski, which is quite interesting to hear. Nice, I liked it. Very smooth, very lose yourself in the world vibes, you know. My baby, you're my baby, say it to me. Baby, my baby, tell your baby that I'm your baby. Ooh, somebody who's cheating, maybe. I bet on losing dogs. I know they're losing and I'll pay for my place by the ring, where I'll be looking in their eyes when they're down. I'll be there on their side. I'm losing by their side. So there's a sense of like this imagery of her like at like the dog races and betting on the dogs, but staying with them even though she knows she's losing, because she has this kind of like tendency to kind of commit to it, people, dogs, bad things, even though she knows they're bad, that kind of thing. Maybe she's committed to a relationship that she knows is bad and she's like, well, I'm all in now. You know, I always want you when I'm finally fine. How you'd be over me looking in my eyes when I come. Right, yeah. Someone to watch me die. I bet on losing dogs. Wow. There's a feeling of like, will I be perpetually stuck in this, like going back with this guy who's not good for me because I miss the sex? As soon as I'm like, okay, I'm over it, I start missing you again. Like, am I going to be constantly stuck in that cycle until I die? I wonder whether this other guy has another relationship on the go and like Mitski ends up being the bit on the side, you know? It's kind of giving me that vibe from, you know, tell your baby that I'm your baby. That's what that's giving me, you know? Next song, My Body's Made of Crushed Little Stars. Whoa, okay, hello. Oh my God. This is like almost like so on purposely like low res, you know? Love how she's singing so full, like she's belting in this one. She doesn't do that very often, does she? Cool. Yeah. Kill me, Jerusalem. Wow. Wow. I wonder what that means. That sound at the end sounds like some crushing, like the crushing of like the rocks, you know? And it seems to continue into the next song, but go right to the F. Very cool. Yeah. Wow. What an intense little moment, like really crushed feeling, really mad that she is going so full out with the vocal. Like that's something that she really doesn't do very often at all. So when she does, it's like, oh, you know, I'm not doing anything. My body's made of crushed little stars and I'm not doing anything. Oh, so it's like the idea that like, I'm a human being. I've been given the opportunity of life and I'm doing nothing with my life. The guilt of that. Because that's the thing, like we're all, as humans, we're made of like carbon, which comes from stars or whatever. You know, there's like kind of that kind of imagery. And it's like, if I am so special, then why am I just languishing around? I'm wasting my life, but she kind of doesn't know how to get out of it, you know? I want to see the whole world. I don't know how I'm going to pay rent. I want to see the whole world. Would you kill me, Jerusalem? Kill me, Jerusalem. Come find me. I wonder what that means. Maybe like Jerusalem kind of has like an idea of like pilgrimage to it, doesn't it? So maybe it's like a sense of travel of that, you know, wanting to see the world. Like maybe I want that feeling to die. Maybe that's kind of what she's thinking, you know? She's like, I want to just curl up and not have these feelings, you know. I better ace that interview. I should tell them that I'm not afraid to die. Wow. I work better under a deadline. I pick an age when I'm going to disappear. Till then, I can try again. So she hasn't got a job. She hasn't got any prospects. She's like, I need to go to that interview and I need to not be truthful. I need to tell them that I'm not afraid to die. I need to actually kind of, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's fucking intense. And then kill me, Jerusalem, go and kill me. Yeah, there's this feeling that she's wasting her time on this earth. And she's just like, just fucking kill me now. What's the point? The idea of this being puberty 2 is quite interesting. Like, I guess it does tie into that idea of like her not making the most of her life, not making the most of her 20s and kind of like having this second puberty in order to kind of move out of that and move into adult life. You know, that's the thing, is that she's not currently adulting. She's not currently being an adult with a job and whatever. She's feels like she's not existing. And so this process is like her transition into potentially actually becoming an adult, you know, figuring out her emotions and actually coming into her own. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's the vibe I'm getting. Cool. Okay, next song. This is Thursday Girl. I love that crushy sound. Okay, we've got early synth theremin kind of vibes. Wow. Oh, lovely. Glory to the night that shows me what I am.
Take it all, please, and tell me no, tell me no.
Somebody please tell me no. It's like begging for like an adult voice, you know. So I just need to pause a second. Just had a really good idea for a lyric. I'm in the process of writing some new music. As soon as like an idea comes, I need to like just write it down. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes it's when I'm listening to really good music that I get inspired to write my own. Cool. Okay. Sorry. Right. Carry on.
Glory, glory, be said, just up or down. Tell me no.
Yeah, it's like she's like looking, as a teenager might, she's looking for an adult voice to tell her no, you know, sort your shit out. Interesting. It's so cool to me that like Mitski manages to paint a picture with all her music that is has such a specific vision that like when she steps outside of it with sounds like this, it really makes me go, ooh, do you know what I mean? Like it was very clever. Cool. Yeah, I love it. I love the sound of that one. Like there's so much in that that's like really just like really ear candy. You know, I love all the crunchy stuff that kind of contrasts with the pad. It kind of also links back to like that kind of early synth vibe where it's like reminds you of kind of like space music and stuff, like the way that they use synths in stuff like Star Trek and whatever to really kind of give it like that kind of alien feel, you know. Yeah, that's the kind of the vibes I was picking up on. Glory, glory, glory to the night that shows me what I am as I go to the party on my knees saying, take it, oh please, and tell me no. Tell me no, someone please tell me no. Glory to the night, it shows me what I am. I'm not happy or sad, just up or down and always bad. There's an idea that like the night out, potentially, maybe this is the Thursday girl, the Thursday night, you know, midweek night out, showing her for who she is. It's like illuminating something within her that is quite attached to going out and not actually dealing with your feelings. But everybody else kind of maybe around her knows that she's kind of a bit fucked up, but she's just ignoring it and having a night out. That's what's giving me, you know, on a Thursday. I mean, Thursday's now the new Friday, but yeah, like the idea that she's on her knees saying, take it, you know, but she's realized she's very self-aware. I mean, she's so self-aware, right? That's like kind of a vibe. But in this song, she's particularly self-aware because she's saying, like, this is fucking destructive. I need someone to tell me not to go. Cool. Okay, next song. This is A Loving Feeling. Ooh, we're back to the pop rock. This one feels like she's at the party, you know? I love the kind of like casual upbeat vibe of this, like. What do you do with that loving feeling? And they only love you when you're all alone. Yeah. Cool. Straight into Crack Baby. Lol. Yeah, short and sweet, like the vibe. Feels quite ironic, feels quite kind of sarcastic, you know, you know, but like the lyrics I'm sure are like completely like, what do you do with that loving feeling when you're all alone? Do you know what I mean? I love there is a sense of humor in it, like a really kind of dark, self-deprecating kind of that kind of humor, which I really appreciate. It's very cool. What do you do with a loving feeling if that loving feeling makes you feel all alone? What do you do with a loving feeling if they only love you when you're all alone? So it's this idea, this secret relationship that's really, really weighing on her. It's like grinding down her idea of self-belief to the point where she can't, you know, leave the house anymore, to the point where she like feels like she doesn't exist when they're not there, you know? It's really like this relationship is so toxic and she can't get free of it, you know? It's really, yeah, holding hands under the table, meeting up in your bedroom, making love to other people, telling each other it's all good, kisses like pink cotton candy, talking to everyone but me. I'm staying on later just in case you come up and ask to leave with me. What do you do with a loving feeling if that loving feeling makes you all alone? And so, yeah, she's really chronicling this feeling of a secret relationship that this other person doesn't feel like deserves to be out in public, you know? Doesn't speak to her in public. He only sees her when they're alone. He only loves her when they're alone. And like, she's like, what do I do with that when I'm so in love with somebody, but like, it makes me feel like shit. What am I supposed to do? And she's caught in that. This whole album, she feels like she's caught in that place, you know? So good. It's so good. Okay, next song, this is Crack Baby. A 5-minute song from Mitski? What the hell?
Blink open eyes, watch the movie Summer Vacation.
It's been a long 20 years summer vacation. I like the time signature. It's like a 6/8 kind of vibe.
You know that you want it back.
Thing is that like she manages to use so many different instruments in so many different songs, and yet her songs always sound so cohesive and always sound so surprising. It's so crazy to me. Yeah, it's very, very cool. I think that really goes to show that like her sense of like style is so singular and so strong that it can carry all the experimentalism. Because it's totally different sounds. It's like smooth, kind of like almost like Naughty's kind of Dido energy in a way. Crack baby, you don't know what you want. What does that mean? You don't know what you want, but you know that you need it. Yeah, there's that, yeah, like a baby. Like, you don't know what it is you want, but you know that you need it. You're crying out for it, you know? Love this modulation here. Almost sounds like a storm. The thing is with Mitski that her songs are so brief in general that you know when she does something that has a lot of repeats on it, there's a reason for it, you know? It's like it doesn't know whether it's to end. So cool. I love that she's like left us with this like really long song that really is just sitting within it, you know? It's really just like quite powerful to do that, you know, on a album full of songs that are like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or 1 minute, you know, really succinct ideas, to kind of like stick with one idea and just keep evolving it and pushing it and like letting it kind of like go. It really feels like a statement, you know, and like even before I've even looked through the lyrics, I feel that energy of this being like a kind of make or break kind of statement piece within the album. Down empty streets, sniffing glue, me and you. Blank open eyes, watch the moon flower bloom. So there's a real connection to the moon with her, isn't there? It's been a long, hard 20-year summer vacation. Both these 20 years trying to fill the void. Crack, baby, you don't know what you want, but you know that you had it once and you know that you want it back. Crack, baby, you don't know what you want, but you know that you're needing it and you know that you need it bad. With wild horses running through your hollow bones. Wow. As I said, there's this feeling of like addiction, and the way it almost reduces this character to a baby. You know, you don't know what you want, you know, you just know that you need it. There's a feeling of like a baby would do that. You know, a baby cries out, it just cries, can't articulate exactly what it wants, but it instinctually knows it wants it, so it cries out. And that's kind of the comparison that she's drawing, I think. Yeah. Wild horses going through your hollow bones. It's like you're like on the brink of death. There's nothing within your bones. You know, you're just like a hollow person. And yet there's this feeling of wild horses rushing around in you. It's like, that's the kind of, I guess, the drugs, the sniffing glue that, you know, you're a hollow person who has nothing to live for, but there's this feeling, these wild horses that are running around inside of you because of the adrenaline of this like artificial high, you know. Went to your room thinking maybe you'll feel something, but all I saw was your burning body waiting. All these 20 years on vacation. I wonder, I don't know how this kind of fits into the album as a whole. It's a very visceral image, a very powerful image. I wonder whether like maybe the kind of drug addiction that seems to be like talked about in here is actually more of a reference to her love addiction. And maybe it's kind of a third person, speaking about yourself in the third person kind of metaphor for her addiction to bad love, you know, constantly expecting him to actually truly fall in love with her, you know. And it's like, she's like saying to herself, you don't know what you want, you know. You're crying out for something, but it's clear that you don't know what you want. You think you know what you want, but you don't, you know. That's really kind of I think that must be what this song's about, you know. Yeah. Oh, fucking great. So good. So she's so, yeah. The kind of music that you really have to like open your ears to. Like, it took me a moment to kind of get into Mitski, but like once I did, and once I started really dissecting it and going through it and really kind of understanding where her artistry was coming from and what she was trying to say, and like I just like, she's just in a world of her own, in a league of her own, and like is doing something totally different, you know. I just really, really appreciate what she's doing, and I do find it really inspiring, their kind of approach, you know. Before we go into the final song, this is a shout out to my patrons. These guys currently support me on Patreon, and they help me in the biggest way possible to be able to actually do what I'm doing and actually have the time to actually invest into this, into my podcast that's coming out soon, into my own music. The patrons support me. And so I can't give them enough thanks. If you also want to support me in all my ventures, I do everything independently because I'm a bit of a control freak. Basically, eventually I want to be able to give up my part-time job and do this and the podcast and my music and stuff full time. And Patreon is a big part of that. So if you want to support me in my career and what I'm doing, make sure to head over to the Patreon and support me. There's loads of different things you can get over there, including the unedited versions of all my videos and song requests in the upper tier and everything as well, in the upper tiers. And you'll be able to actually get extended edits and video versions of my upcoming podcast series. Yeah, so there's loads of little cool bits and bobs if you want to be a part of the community. Let's go on to the final song. This is A Burning Hill. Ooh, okay. Acoustic guitar. Wasn't quite expecting that.
Today I will wear my white button down. I think I'm finally born.
Yeah.
I've been a forest fire.
Wow.
I stand in a valley watching it.
There's this feeling of stepping outside of her body, isn't there? You know.
Wear my white button down.
I wonder what that was referring to, like.
Walk out and be seen as clean.
Yeah, okay.
I'll love some little
She's like taking the step out, isn't she? Yeah. That really feels like right at the end, she's choosing to take the step, get a job, to put her white shirt on, to step out the house, to show everybody that she's clean, like to show everybody that she's got her life together, you know? Considering like the whole album, she's been stuck in this kind of purgatory. This feels like such an important thing to end the album on, you know? It's like opening the door and taking a step out. And really interesting that she chose the acoustic guitar to kind of end the album on as well, because it kind of has this like down to earth kind of feeling, you know? Today I will wear my white button down. I'm tired of wanting more. I think I'm finally worn. Oh, clever use of the word worn. For you have a way of promising things, and I've been a forest fire. I am the witness watching it. I stand in a valley watching it, and you are not there at all. So there's a sense of like her kind of feeling all these feelings. She's a forest fire. She's full of all these crazy feelings, and she's like, you're not even there. Whereas I'm kind of like obsessing about it, stepping outside of myself, writing songs about it, thinking about it in the third person, you know, all these, she's like obsessing over it in so many ways, and he's just not even there. Do you know what I mean? Like she's realized that she has all these like intense feelings and there's nothing coming from this guy. And she's realized that. So she's like, today, I'm going to wear my white button down. I can at least be neat, walk out and be seen as clean. And I'll go to work. I'll go to sleep. I'll love the littler things. I'll love some littler things. So it's about her, like, rather than trying to like find the kind of supreme happy ending, world ending kind of love with this guy where it's not worked out and she's spent the entire time feeling like she's not even been alive at all. She's now choosing to, rather than going for that, she's like, the other path might be a little bit more boring, but it's better than this. And actually, like, there does seem to be a bit of a way of growing up in that, you know, which really links into the puberty too. You know, this idea that she is reframed her attitude on her life. You know, she's like, instead of like looking for the big things, I'm just going to start enjoying all the little moments. And I think we all kind of have that moment as we grow up, you know, where we start realizing that, like, if we don't try and enjoy the small things, find pleasure in moments, then you spend your whole life wanting for more, and then suddenly it's all gone and you haven't actually enjoyed it, you know? And I feel like that balance is the kind of balance of adult life that we all have to try and strike. And therefore, as an album, this whole concept that she hasn't been doing that, but now she's choosing to move out of that, really does feel like this idea of a second puberty. She's choosing to kind of embrace these adult questions rather than hiding away from it and stewing in her own filth, you know? She's choosing to have a shower, get clean, get a job, go out and just live a life, you know? Yeah, it's a really powerful image at the end of the album, that song. And brings it all together, doesn't it? Like, oh my God. That's, yeah, one of my favorite albums from her, easily. Like, Bury Me and Make Out Quick, really adored the kind of story that I pieced together listening to it and all that kind of stuff. But I do feel like it was kind of like a low res version. It was a not quite bringing everything together version of what she now does. And with this, Be the Cowboy, I need to re-listen to Laura Hell. I haven't done that in a while. And Land is Inhospitable, I feel like she's pulled it together and she's firing in all cylinders. And this, for me, feels like, in chronological order, this feels like the moment where it comes together, you know? I just love how she manages to have such a specific sense of style, but still experiment between every single song. There's new instruments going on all the time. There's new emotions going on all the time. She's singing quietly, but singing in her full voice. But that really does go to show that she has such a strong sense of style and a strong sense of like artistry, that she can pull all these disparate elements together like that, you know? It's certainly not like easy listening. She's never been that. But when you do take that moment to really dig into what she's doing, there's just so much that you can take from it. And I just really love doing these reactions because it gives me a chance to do that, you know? And yeah, I think this is kind of every kind of major project that she's done. I know there were some earlier ones, but in terms of like the kind of major albums, I'm glad that I've been able to kind of go through them and really dissect them like this and really take them in a way that I think they deserve to be taken in, because there's so much detail to them. And she's such a singular artist, you know, it's really just amazing. And I'm so happy that she's doing well as well. Yeah, brilliant. My favorite song on the album. It's very difficult to piece apart what your favorite song on a Mitski album is. I mean, Your Best American Girl seems a bit obvious, but actually I think Fireworks is my favorite song. Yeah, I'm going to say Fireworks is my favorite song of the album. I loved that idea, and it was such a strong metaphor, such strong imagery of somebody listening to the fireworks going on outside, not being involved. Like, there's just so much in that it's so simple, but so just like something I've never thought of, something I've never seen in music before. Like this singular metaphor of like not enjoying your life, not out there enjoying your life for everybody else. You're sat alone on your own, not watching the fireworks out the window, just hearing them, hearing everything going on without you. And like, and how even the visual and the sound of a firework sounds like a cry. You know, it's like, it's just genius. Just every level on that. And I really loved the sound of the song as well. Like the way that the chorus kind of shifted musically, like it was like really just satisfying to listen to. It just, yeah, that was my favorite song on the album. Crazy. Let me know what your top 5 are in the comments. Love reading through those. If you haven't checked out any of my old Mitski videos, the playlist with all of them on is here. Or if you want to check out my Lana Del Rey reactions, the playlist is here.